Welcome to Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. So today we're going to be covering the news, Ford news, Bronco news, Microchip news. We're going to be talking about some good news for once, some really cool news. And we're going to be covering the new Bronco catalog. Don't worry, I hope to not sound like Linda from the shopping channel, at least not too much. But I am going to be showing you the whole accessory guide quickly. Photos flashing through, all the cool stuff. So we've got a lot of cool stuff packed into this video. I'm also going to be presenting my future videos coming up. So yeah, we're going to be talking about trailer sway assist in future videos. So like and subscribe if you want to get all sorts of videos on cool car reviews, as well as car care and automobile news. Now, there's a lot of loom and gloom out there right now. People are worried. There's a new naughty list, and you don't want to be on Santa's naughty list. That's what we've been told our whole lives. That's what we've been worried about. We always try to be good, and we want to be good this year because we want our Bronco for Christmas. However, I'm going to be questioning and looking at whether we really need to worry about the new naughty list. So there's 4 new things on that list. Let's just jump right in, put the pedal to the metal, and start talking about microchip shortages. Now, I started covering this, I believe it was end of February. I did a video, and end of February, I was already saying, hey, there is a microchip shortage, and this isn't gonna affect the Bronco. Don't worry about it, don't stress, no worries, man. So I was covering that back at the end of February, and you know, that was a bit from some inside knowledge, and just good, solid common sense. I looked at the facts. Ford's been talking about the Bronco forever. We've been waiting on the Bronco for way too long. I'm sure I'm not the only one where our partners are complaining that all our walks are turning into Bronco walks. You know, with everything that's going on, I think we're all going for a few more walks. Good for the health, good for the pooches that you hear in the background. That's Winston agreeing. So yeah, we've been taking a lot of walks, but the partners, they're getting pretty tired of hearing, at least my girlfriend, the wifey, she's getting pretty tired of hearing about Bronco stuff. So let's not worry about this one. I've been talking about it since February. Ford, it only made sense, and now Bronco 6G has confirmed it. There isn't going to be a microchip shortage for the Bronco. However, here is the news. There is a shortage for Super Duties. And here's a photo that was put on the web, internets, showing a whole bunch of Super Duties. Looks like thousands of Super Duties parked and waiting. Now, I can confirm this isn't only Super Duties. In my video back in February, I mentioned that I never thought that this would affect F-150s because they're work machines. They're Ford's bread and butter. But here's the thing, it has. I have access to this list, and I can tell you that some F-150s are built. It says that their location is by the ramp awaiting shipping, but they've been there since the end of March. So that means this is a microchip shortage issue. Now, I really hoped that it was gonna just affect things like EcoSports, because your business can probably live without an EcoSport. You know, if you're waiting upon the arrival of your brand new exciting EcoSport, you can probably live without it. But your F-150, not so sure. But it has affected F-150s somewhat. Delayed orders, trucks being built and not moving, microchip issue. Super Duties, all parked up, microchip issue. Now, what is holding back the Bronco? Well, I'm gonna get to the end and explain why I think the answer is kind of everything. And I don't mean this in a loom and gloom kind of way. I think there's gonna be Bronco delays, and I'm not so sure it's really about the new 4 listed factors. I really think what it does come down to is, Ford needs a reason why your neighbor might get their Bronco before you, even though you were, a day one reservation holder. So first, before I get to that and why I believe that, I did promise I'd answer the question of what can you do. And before we cover the what we can do for solutions, we got to look at what the problems are. Apparently, things that are causing issues: 2-door Broncos, 2.7 liter Broncos, hard tops, and, the wild track. The wild track. This doesn't make sense to me. It was a week or two ago, I did some news where I talked about, in the video, I talked about how my local dealer had 3 clients, and in those 3 clients, 2 needed to be called up and offered like, hey, if you want to move along your order, have much greater chance of having it accepted, you need to, consider getting rid of your soft top. Would you like a hard top? And of course, this is for the 4-door Bronco. So 2 out of 3. 1 wasn't touched. However, in my case, because the Bronco, when I got this info, because the Bronco, I really liked anyways the idea of the hard top, but I was just being too cheap to put out the extra money, and I liked how easy it'd be to take it off and enjoy the sun. I figured, let someone else have that soft top, and I switched to hard top. And now, 1 or 2 weeks later, they're saying the hard top's an issue, as well as a hitch. Okay, the hitch is a block of metal. All sorts of jobber companies make them. What's going on? Well, I don't actually think that the issue is, like the list said, a hitch can be an issue for getting your Bronco later. Sasquatch package can be an issue for getting your Bronco later. A 2.7 liter can be an issue for getting your Bronco later. What does this all mean? It means that, well over 70% of people who ordered a Bronco are in this situation where, hey, you could be in trouble. You could have, here's a reason why your Bronco might be late. In other words, what I really think it is, and 6G even spelled it out, they wrote it in black and white. Because of all these issues, don't be upset if your neighbor has a Bronco before you do, even if you're a day one reservation holder. What I really think is that the reservation system is good. It does give you a certain priority, but like I've been saying back in February and March, when I was breaking news in February and March, what have I always said and been completely, not just convinced? For me, it's a fact. Dealers get promised allotments. They get promised a certain amount of builds. So 2 things going on. That dealer, if they get promised 20 or 25 builds and only get 15 reservations, I had some people really mad at me in the comments section, but I was saying that, a dealer might have 10 Broncos that they could sell to someone who doesn't have a reservation timestamp, and that they may get them. Now, I also realize that, in a lot of cases, people are going to be correct that in certain areas, only reservation holders will get their Broncos. And that makes sense too. If you have a dealer that gets, 200 reservations and they're promised and will get built 150 Broncos, well, guess what? Those are all going to the reservation holders. But, any automobile manufacturer can't be in a situation where, let's say Ford's going to build 60,000 Broncos. And basically, Los Angeles alone, or 2-3 major cities within the first hour had all the reservations and totaled 60,000 reservations. Don't tell me that Ford is only going to sell Broncos for the first year to those few major cities. No, Broncos are going to be spread across the country. All dealers are going to get some. At my dealer, I think of the give or take 12 timestamped reservation holders, there's only like I don't think it was even half that were all, within the first few hours. And we all know very well that within the first few hours, within the first day, there was over 60,000 reservations. And, some of those reservations weren't timestamped on even day one. It was the next day or the day after. And of the total 12 or so, that they weren't all within the first few days whatsoever. So, some of them go back to, January or February. And some of those people, you know, who have a timestamp of February, sorry, they're gonna get a Bronco in there. I'm quite positive and certain that they're gonna get a 2021 Bronco because, you know, like goes back to allotments. Dealer gets promised that they get built 25. Hey, maybe it gets cut down to 20 because of issues. But if there was originally only 12 reservation holders, that means there's still, with timestamps within the first few months, still means that someone off the street that walked in March could go and buy a Bronco. And it means that there's still space for someone that could walk in off the street this month and buy a Bronco. And there is a chance that they'll get it as a very late 2021 or early 2022. But whatever number the dealer does get built, if it's more than 12, those extra people are going to be getting them. So I've been saying this for a really long time. What does this all mean? You know, I think at the end of the day, what it means is, you know, do like Dave if you really like Jeeps. Don't do like Dave from All Terrain Nation if you're like me. I really love how Fords drive. I love how the Bronco looks. And I realized that, yeah, it's gonna come in a little later, but am I willing to sacrifice drive comfort? No. If you do believe in the new naughty list and that you think, let's say you have a Sasquatch, which was over 70% of Bronco orders, which is part of the whole reason why I think, you know, Ford through Bronco 6G needs a reason for your neighbor getting their Bronco possibly before you without people freaking out and being like, hey, I'm day one, I got my Bronco within the first 30 minutes, my timestamp, and here's my neighbor who, you know, put his timestamp in at week 2 or week 3, or walked in off the street in the month of March at a dealer that happened to have space. There needs to be reason behind all this to not upset all the timestamp people. But all I can say is the timestamp, I definitely am completely convinced it does help you, but it's not the end all and be all. You know, it doesn't mean they're gonna hold up the factory line while they wait to build a Bronco that they don't have parts for. No, the 6G showed it. They said, you know, the factory is gonna go on to the next order that is, you know, ready to be accepted. So if you want your order to be ready to be accepted and you believe that list, they're saying, you know, turn your 2.7 liter into a 2.3. If you're comfortable with that, go for it. You know, I was comfortable from going from a soft top to a hard top. Now they're saying the hard top's an issue. What I think is that when you add all these factors in, it must be like, what, over 80% of Bronco reservation holders that are like potentially problematic. What can I say? What I am gonna say is that I don't think it's the case. I think this is a whole explanation for why, you know, people are going to be getting Broncos at different times for different reasons. And at the end of the day, make the change if you're comfortable with it. But here's a solution: Sasquatch to Badlands. If you have, let's say, a black diamond or a Big Bend with Sasquatch package, yeah, there is a price difference with a Badlands. However, with the Badlands, what's really cool is you get the stabilizer bar disconnect, and that's some really neat, interesting news. Stabilizer bar disconnect is freaking awesome. LiQWYD, you know, the LiQWYD channel showed it right in mid-obstacle on a rock. They hit the button, and basically, you know, this also entails what is awesome about the Bronco. The Bronco has independent front suspension. So an advantage of the Jeep. A Jeep's on a front solid axle. So, you know, it goes up on a rock and you get extra clearance underneath. Now here's the downside. You're driving down the road on the highway and the thing tends to want to wobble, tends to want to veer to the left, veer to the right, and it's not the most comfortable ride. And this is where I'd say, Dave, you know, if you love Jeeps, I can understand. The Jeep Gladiator looks pretty cool. I saw one in blue. I'm a blue fan. Loved it. The Jeep Gladiator, very cool. Not taking it away from anyone. So, you know, don't hate on me in the comments. But it's known to not be the most comfortable daily driver. Now, Car and Driver is saying that the Jeep Gladiator of all the Jeeps is the most comfortable, but they also said that the other Jeeps aren't very great and comfortable as a daily driver. And that's because that front axle does not make for the best daily driver. It's not wonderfully comfortable. Now, here's the thing. There's also the reliability issue. You know, Car and Driver has had their test mule for 10,000 miles, and they've already lost it for 29 days while the transmission got switched. In any product, some people are gonna have, great luck, others are gonna have bad luck, really bad luck. Even on a great product, you can have an unbelievably reliable vehicle and still have a few people that have horrific luck with the product. But what I'm saying here is, on average, if you go online and you look at it, Jeeps are not known for their reliability. Please don't find out where I live and attack me in the middle of the night. It's just a fact, and it's out on the internet. So if you love Jeep, yeah, you can cancel your Bronco order and get a Jeep, but nothing's perfect. There's always issues in life. It's kind of a balancing life with everything in life. And on the Bronco, it's a great product, but you're gonna have to wait for it. Now, let me explain the stabilizer bar disconnect. The Bronco has an advantage. It is fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic on the highway. It has independent front suspension. But here's the thing with independent front suspension. So when you go over an obstacle, the wheel here goes up, the wheel there goes up, and your ground clearance underneath always stays the same, because it's just the wheel going up, not the whole vehicle going up. So that's not great for off-roading, or it's not as good. However, the Badlands has stabilizer bar disconnect. So on the dash, you press a little button, you do a little eyebrow raise, because you're like, whoa, because you can be mid-obstacle, and your wheel's up on the rock, but then you hit the stabilizer bar disconnect, and the vehicle angles up, getting you that clearance that you want without, and this is key, this is a big deal, without having that big old axle diff filled with oil in the middle that can catch up on rocks. If you smash it, you sploosh it all over the trail. Not great if you're worried about the environment, but also not great if you're thinking about the cost of a tow truck when you're in the middle of nowhere. So no front axle to worry about. Yes, you still have the back axle, of course. I'm not lost. I can forget things from time to time, but not completely lost. But you don't have the front axle to worry about. One less thing to bang up on the rocks. Now, speaking of rocks, Bronco 6G always providing us with awesome photos, things to talk to on long walks about. And I suggest you check that out. It's really cool. They took some Broncos out on the Rubicon Trail and they killed it. It was awesome. It went great. And part of the Bronco news and general Ford news is that in late April, I believe it was the 29th, pretty much a stock Bronco finished third in a race. Now, what was it? Well, it was a 2.7 liter EcoBoost Badlands. Why did they take the Badlands? Probably because it's great off-road. It has the stabilizer bar disconnect. It did great. So is this a product waiting for? Yes. Love Dave's videos on All Terrain Nation. Makes fantastic videos. The idea of getting a Jeep in the meantime, I'm not a fan. Sometimes the best things in life you gotta wait for. So I think this is gonna be one of them. Do I believe in this new naughty list? Hey, 2 weeks ago, I had it right in front of me, soft top causing an issue for 2 out of the 3 soft top 4-door clients. Then, now they're saying it's a hard top. I really think it comes down to they need reasons why your neighbor might get their Bronco. And you're gonna go to meets and you're gonna find people that have their Bronco and you're like, what the heck, this guy, I have a timestamp from just before my birthday, so early February. And I'm pretty darn positive I'm getting my Bronco for 2021. And 99.8% certain. I'm also certain the microchips, I've been certain that the microchips would not cause issue, and I've been saying that since February, and that's turned out to be completely true. So sometimes I'm just right about stuff, guys. Now, part of my whole speculation, trying to convince me that a hitch is gonna cause problems for your Bronco being built. It's just a block of metal. How hard can it be to get these in, especially when they're going to be building less F-150s? They're also saying the 2.7 liter is an issue. Does this cause speculation and wonder for me? Well, when I look at it and realize that, you know, it's a fact that they're building less F-150s, so more 2.7s that should be available, I'm having trouble believing that that's the real reason behind not getting your Bronco on time. I just think that there's delays. You know, there's delays, crazy delays with F-150s. I'm seeing delays of up to 6 months from time of order for the F-150. Is the Bronco a great product and worth waiting for? Absolutely. But, you know, I gotta ask, I wish Bronco 6G would wait on the 2022 stuff. I like talking about the Heritage model and showing pictures of how amazing a green Bronco Heritage Edition will look. You know, it's hard enough waiting for the 2021 Bronco. Do you really gotta tease us and tempt us for the 2022 Bronco? And hey, maybe this is just to help some people you know, willingly put their 2021 into a 2022, free up some stuff. And if so, genius marketing. But for me, it's making life hard here. You know, the wife doesn't want to hear any more Bronco stuff, but I'll continue providing you with Bronco stuff. I also want to cover that on the Microchip. If you're not a Bronco and you're just, you know, a Ford order person, Ford is working on, you know, two things. They're looking at getting a factory going for their own batteries, which they originally said they wouldn't do, but now they're seeing that, you know, this is pretty big, and having batteries, you know, for example, for the plug-in Escape has not been the easiest. They're talking about having their own batteries, but these things don't get done overnight. Just like if Ford decided to start making their own microchips, this couldn't be done overnight because of regulations, because of testing. Ford would probably have to go through a testing process, even if they have their own chip copied or made or invented. Let's not use the word copy, but let's say they've got this going for, you know, a month down the road. It's still gonna take, you know, 6 to 8 months to get the chip approved. So there's delays. For other Ford products, they're saying, you know, it's kind of vague. Like the news article that came out that was saying that, you know, there's a 2-month issue by the end of June. Things should be mostly resolved, but then the same chairman also said that it takes 7 to 8 months to completely resolve things. So things are going to continue being slow for a while. You know, all we can do is be patient and not get a Jeep. No, Jeeps are pretty cool, but I think the Bronco worth waiting for because of the independent front suspension. You're gonna have a much better daily driver. You're gonna have a more comfortable ride. And if you get a Badlands, you're still having, or a Sasquatch, you still have a fantastic off-road machine. So I hope this has been useful. I hope it's been helpful. And I wish you all more cars and more power. And it would really help me out if you press the like button and subscribe. You know, even if you don't intend on watching a whole lot more of my videos, you know, help a Bronco brother out and hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. And in the next videos, you'll be seeing me cover, I'm really hoping that I might actually get my hands on covering Bentley Continental, reviewing that. And I'm also gonna be talking about trailer sway, the Pro Trailer Backup Assist. It's awesome. Basically the new F-150s, you don't need to take measurements anymore. You just add the module. They've got this little cabling kit. You throw it onto your trailer, and I'm going to cover what you need to do, but it's so simple. Anyone can do it, and then anyone can turn around. And I was on a farm for years, beef and then dairy, and I know how to back up. I know how to back up. It's important, but it's still tough to back up over long periods of time in a straight line. And that Pro Trailer Backup Assist makes it that you can go for kilometers and kilometers, and all those micro adjustments, left-right micro adjustments in the steering wheel get done for you. It's great. I experienced it, I filmed it, and I look forward to sharing that with you. And as promised, I will be getting around to doing the Performance Pack 1 Mustang GT video. So, you know, wish you all the best. Hope you'll be watching and leaving comments. And how about the Ford accessories? So, you know, it's pretty cool. Bronco 6G, you can download the accessories website. This thing is like a Christmas catalog. It's like the Sears catalog when we were kids. Really exciting because they've got all sorts of different tops. They're showing the different tops. You know, one is the front panel over the driver and the passenger can be removed to have an easily retractable material roof that we see right here. And apparently it only takes about a second or two to let the sun in. So that's super cool. Everything, you know, the tops seem to be ranging from about $400 to about $2,400, but all the prices are out as well. So I encourage you to check that out. There's even stuff for you, the pooches, seat belts, inner vehicle kennels. Super cool, great images. Thank you, Bronco 6G, for making the access to that super easy. And you know, if there's any new news, if anything changes, I'll be letting you know and seeing you soon.